So now that we've gotten comfortable with stepping laterally while punching, we're going to introduce the idea of circling around our opponent with our lateral stepping. Now, stepping laterally, what we've done so far is we moved in a straight line, and as a recap, when we're moving to the lead leg side, it is the lead leg that steps first, and then the rear leg catches up. When we're moving to the rear leg side, it is the rear leg that steps first, and the lead leg that catches up. We always want to maintain at least a shoulder width stance. We want to avoid falling into the trap of stepping and then finding ourselves on a tightrope, either on the lead leg side or on the rear leg side. So always maintaining a wide stance, whichever direction we go. Circling around the opponent can be either very gradual or it can be very quick. The angles that we circle around at can be very small or they can be very large. Small angling is quite easy to train because you just want to basically imagine that you're standing on a large circle, you're standing on the circumference of a large circle facing inwards to the center of the circle, and as you do your lateral stepping, rather than stepping in a straight line, you're simply walking along the circumference of that circle. So if I'm walking to my rear leg side, then I would be making small adjustments and just turning around the circle. And if I'm walking to my lead leg side, same thing, just making small adjustments to the circle as I go. Okay? This is a great way to start circling around or practicing circling. But in practice, generally we're going to take much more dynamic, much larger angles, at least to start with. And we're going to practice the extremes of those angles. So the extreme of the angle is actually being able to turn 90 degrees. And the way this ends up working is it's a little bit different for the rear leg than it is for the lead leg. Let's start with the rear leg. So if I want to turn 90 degrees around my opponent, the first thing I have to do is I've got to step off the line. And I'm going to step off the line at about a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to make sure that I'm stepping in front of my lead foot. So I'm going to step in this direction, okay? And you'll notice that my rear foot, it looks like my lead foot now, but it's still my rear foot. It's turned inwards, okay? This is very important. We want to make sure that our toe is turning inwards at all times when we're stepping. It can be just a straight step, that's okay. Definitely not an outward step. So we do not want to step out with our toes pointing out like so, okay? Either straight, or what I really strongly recommend is turning your foot in, okay? Once this foot has landed, we're going to shift our weight to it, and we're going to turn our body so that our hips are now going to turn 90 degrees facing this way. And as we do so, our lead leg is going to just switch in position, okay? From here to here, okay? So it looks like this, 1, 2, okay? Again, maintaining our shoulder width stance at all times, okay? So a 90-degree rear leg circling step, 1, 2, like so, okay? And you can again think about pushing off and turning as quickly as you can, okay, once you get used to it. Now, the lead leg side is a little bit different, because what's going to happen here is we're going to step off the line. We can step forward slightly, but really what we're looking to do is we want to step laterally, okay? Again, our toes are pointing forward at the most, definitely not outwards, okay? And we actually want to turn those toes in as far as we can again as well. So from here, step out, okay? And now what's going to happen is we're not switching stances. If we were switching stances, which is a thing which we definitely can do, but we'll save that for another time. If we were switching stances, then what we would do is we would step out and then change stances, okay? And now we have our right leg being our lead leg, whereas before it was our rear leg. But if we want to keep a left leg lead stance, then what we're going to do is we're going to step out, and this back leg is going to swing around, okay? So that we're back in our left leg lead stance, shoulder width apart, nice and stable, okay? This is great for turning very quickly around the opponent, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, okay? Now you'll feel that there's maybe a little bit of pivoting that happens on the ball of the foot. This is fine, it's absolutely fine in both the rear leg and the lead leg stances, okay? Planting your foot in exactly the right position rarely happens. So you will have maybe a little bit of the ball of the foot movement to pivot on, okay? So again, 1, 2, okay? And we're now 90 degrees facing the other way. There are different ways in which we can include our punches, but let's start with a simple 2-punch exercise. So let's use the face target, a horizontal fist face target, and we're going to start practicing with a cross coordination. So as my rear leg steps, my lead hand punches out. So I'm going to step and punch, and then I'm going to turn my whole body, my hips, and then my foot are going to find their new position, and as it lands, a new punch, okay? From here, 1, 2. 1, 2, okay? The first punch, throw it out in the direction of where your opponent, in theory, is, right in front of you. So you step out and you punch out to where, in theory, they are, and then punch out in the new 90-degree angle. Bear in mind, this is an exercise, okay? Your opponent is not actually there. This is just getting used to the idea of punching in one direction and then turning and punching in a new direction. And we're doing it at the extremes, at this 90-degree extreme angle. When we're punching in the direction of our lead leg circle, okay, if we're angling off to the side of the lead leg, again, we're going to use a cross coordination. So the lead leg steps, the rear hand punches, okay? 1, punching straight forward, and then we pivot and throw our rear leg back into position, and as we do so, we punch again, okay? From here, 1, 2, okay? Again, 1, 2. So you can see how by angling off, it changes the angle that we can actually come in on our opponents. Now, as far as a same side coordination is concerned, it's the same idea, but now you're going to throw the same side punch first. So for my rear leg circling, I'm going to step out, punch out, and then as my body pivots and my foot repositions, punch again, okay? If we're doing the face, it'll be 1, 2, okay? Now, for the lead leg side, same idea. As my lead leg steps, my lead hand punches first, 1, and then as my foot pivots, my rear hand punches second, 2. Okay, aiming for the face, 1, 2. Okay, again, this is an exercise, okay? Your partner is not actually, or your opponent is not actually there. So getting comfortable with both the rear leg, opposite coordination, lead leg, opposite coordination, rear leg, same side coordination, and lead leg, same side coordination. Gives us, again, a comfort level of being able to have an answer no matter what is going on, right? In natural style, the idea is that we are covering all of the major permutations of body posture, position, and timing and coordination with our feet, our hands, and our opponent. So a simple drill that you can do to get used to it or to get comfortable with it is a 360-degree circle. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off and we're going to do the solar plexus punch first. I'm going to step off 4 times in a 90-degree circle, and every time I'm going to punch with a cross coordination. So I'm going to go 1, 2, I'm going to step 90 degrees again, 1, 2, I'm going to step 90 degrees again, 1, 2, and one more time, 1, 2. And that takes us around the whole circle. Same thing if we're going to the lead leg side. Now remember, we have to throw our back leg out. We've got to pivot it around our lead leg. Our lead leg is like a pivot, and our back leg is pivoting around that leg. We're going to do cross coordination first again. So we're going to go 1, 2, second 90 degrees, 1, 2, third 90 degrees, 1, 2, fourth 90 degrees, 1, 2. Okay? And you can practice that with any one of the 5 basic punches. So these are very simple exercises that you can do, just continuously stepping 90 degrees in a circle, practicing your punches. Please remember to practice with a right lead leg stance as well, where the left rear leg is going to be the rear leg coordinations, and the right leg is now going to be the lead leg coordinations. And you can practice opposite side coordination, same side coordination, 90-degree stepping. Remember, the rear leg, it's a step out and then a reset. Whereas the lead leg, it's a step out and then a pivot. All right, that's it. Happy training.